Good day everyone, my name is Maybelline Garcia and today, I'm about to report all about properties of color and how colors relate and light and shadow. Defining color, it is the property possessed by an object of producing different sensations on the eye as a result of the way the object reflects or emits light. Ang kahalagahan ng color as an element of the visual arts cannot be overemphasized. Nakikita ng mga tao na ang mundo ay puno ng iba't ibang kulay. And in arts, yung mga artists natin, syempre gumagamit sila ng iba't ibang materials na nagbibigay ng kulay sa kanilang mga ginagawang sining. And in that case, color adds beauty and meaning to all forms of art. So imagine, yung mundo, yung paligid na walang kulay, just like the example, yung isa kita natin yung buhay sa art. While dun sa babang part, patay yung art dahil sa kakulangan ng color. Kumbaga, nababawasan yung pag-appreciate natin sa isang art if lack siya ng colors. And the world would be a gloomy place if it is devoid of color. And colors have several properties: the hue, the value, intensity, and temperature. Color is the property of light. So when light goes out, color goes with it. A ray of light contains all the colors of the visible spectrum. Yon, makikita naman natin dito yung colors. Gray gibiv, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. So this visible spectrum was discovered by Sir Isaac Newton when light was allowed to pass through a glass prism. And it is the portion of the electromagnetic spectrum that is visible to the human eye. So yon, emphasize lang natin sa part na to na ang color is the property of light. So yan. The first property of color, hue. It is the name given to the color. For example, red, green, violet, and blue. So we have 4 hues. For pigments red, yellow, and blue, they are called primary hues. Bakit? Because they are considered primary because these hues cannot be produced from combining any hues. So, yung red at yellow and blue, hindi sila magmumula sa dalawang color na pinag-combine. Kaya natawag silang primary. And the second one is the secondary hues. And yun ay nakukuha natin when two primary hues were mixed in equal amounts. Kaya nagkakaroon tayo ng secondary hues. For example, yung orange. So, yan ay kinuha natin sa red and yellow, kaya nagkaroon tayo ng orange, then yellow and blue, which are primary hues na nag-produce ng green as secondary hues. So, next is the intermediate hues. Mixing equal amounts of the primary and the secondary hues will produce intermediate hues. So, for example, yung red-orange. Red is from the primary hues and orange from secondary hues. Kaya, nagkaroon tayo ng intermediate hues, which is red-orange. Tandaan lang natin na sa intermediate hues, ang pinagsasama ay isang primary at isang secondary. So, another hue, tertiary hues. It is when combined two secondary colors. Yon, makikita naman natin sa example, yung mga kulay, yung pinagkakaiba-iba nila. So, yan. For example, primary hues, yun yung nasabi natin kanina, yung red, yellow, and blue. And the secondary hues, orange, violet, and green, yan yung galing sa dalawang primary hues. Intermediate hues ay from primary at isang secondary hues. So, itong example na nakuha ko, yan ay nagmula sa tertiary use kasi madami ang nalilito na kapag sinabing tertiary use, yun daw ay pinagsamang primary and secondary, which is wrong dahil sabi dito, kapag daw primary and secondary use na pinagsamang kulay, yun ay intermediate use. And kapag naman tertiary use, yun ay pinagsamang dalawang secondary. Okay? Since wala akong nakitang example ng sa tertiary, which is combine na ng dalawang secondary, naghanap na lang ako ng color mixer sa internet. So, ayan. So, nasabi nga kanina na ang secondary use, green and orange are example of secondary use. So, kapag tertiary use, yun ay pinagsamang dalawang secondary use. Yan. So, through mixing color of two secondary use, nagpo-produce tayo ng tertiary use. So, next property of colors, value. It refers to the lightness or darkness of color. The value of any use can be changed by adding a neutral, such as black or white. This results in changing the quantity of light the hue reflects. So, kapag sinabing value, ito yung lightness or darkness ng color. And we have this two, the tint and the shade. Kapag sinabing tint, white yung ina-add natin sa color. And shade naman, kapag black, yung kino-combine natin sa isang color. So, tint for lightness and shade for darkness. So, example, makikita natin dyan na sa picture na kapag tints, mas lighter yung kulay niya. While kapag shades ay darker naman kasi nga black yung kino-combine sa isang kulay. So, next is the intensity. It is also a property of color. Intensity, also referred to as saturation or chroma, refers to the degree of purity of a color. So, it denotes the brightness or dullness of a color. It gives color its strength. Color differs in intensity or vividness. So, first, hues become less intense when white is added because color becomes lighter in value. So, katulad siya nung sa tint na kapag white yung inad, magiging less intense yung kulay. While the use intensity diminishes when black is added and as the value darkens. So, katulad siya naman, kung in terms of value, katulad naman siya dun sa shade. And if gray is added, the result will be a variation in intensity without any change in value. So, hindi daw magbabago yung lightness or darkness ng color kapag gray yung inad sa color. Colors in the color wheel are full intensity because they are as bright as each color can be. And the color's intensity always diminishes when it gets mixed with another color. So, sa paglayo daw ng kulay sa kinombine sa, halimbawa, di ba may color wheel tayo? So, sa paglayo daw nung dalawang color na pagko-combine, the more the intensity ng both color ang mababawasan. So, ultimately, mixing two colors that are completely opposite each other on the color wheel creates the least intense. So, yan. Kung nalilito tayo kung ano ba yung value, kung anong pinagkaiba ng value and intensity, so kapag value, it is the lightness or darkness of a hue and it is changed by adding black or white to a color. So, kapag naman intensity, it is the brightness or dullness of hue and is changed by mixing a color with its complement, the color directly across from it on the color wheel. So, how colors relate? So, yan, color harmony. It is one method of establishing color quality in a composition. There are several ways of creating harmony that artists can use. So, yung color harmony, para lang siyang combination. Pagka-combinin yung mga colors. So, in color theory, color harmony refers to the property that certain aesthetically pleasing color combinations have. These combinations create pleasing contrast and consonances that are said to be harmonious. So, the most common are the following. So, yan yung mga example ng harmony. First is the monochromatic harmony, when a single color in the composition is varied in intensity and value by adding black or white. So, yung sa color daw, ay nagva-vary lang siya sa black, white, or gray. Yun lang yung monochromatic harmony. While kapag naman complementary harmony, it results when two colors that are opposite. So, yan, makikita naman natin sa example na yung dalawang kulay ay opposite each other in the color wheel. Tapos, kapag naman analogous harmony, it results when hues that are adjacent or beside. So, yun yung mga magkakatabing kulay sa color wheel. And then next property of color is color temperature. It refers to the relative warmth or coolness of a color. So, kapag sinabing warm colors, yung colors that have yellow as its dominant component. While kapag naman cool, blue color naman yung dominant component. So, kita naman natin dito sa example na yung warm ay nandoon sa part ng yellow and cool dun sa part ng blue. So, in general, yellows and orange and reds are warm colors and blues and greens are cool. So, next, lights and shadow. Light and shadow focuses on what is known as a chromatic value. This refers to the changes in the amount of reflected light, which ranges from black to gray to white and vice versa. Achromatic means literally without color. An achromatic color is a one that lacks hues, such as white, gray, and black, and a chromatic color is a color which has even the slightest amount of hue. Simply speaking, a shadow is an absence of light. So, an artist who has mastered the manipulation of a chromatic value in a composition gives his work the illusion of depth and form. So, yan. Chiaroscuro. It is technique of manipulating light and shadow painting. So, it also refers to the use of light and dark to create the illusion of three-dimensional volume on a flat surface. So, the term translates to light-dark, chiaro meaning bright or clear, and scuro meaning dark or obscure. So, the term is also used in a more narrow sense to describe artworks which display an extreme contrast between light and dark, like the painting dito sa left. It is Virgin and Child with Saint Anne and John the Baptist by Leonardo da Vinci. And gumamit dito si Da Vinci ng charcoal or black chalk para ma-sketch niya yung subjects sa brown tinted paper. So, ginawa niya yung illusion ng shadows, makikita natin sa folds ng clothing, sa faces, and sa necks. So, while ang ginamit niya naman para ma-emphasize niya yung mga important part sa kanyang artwork ay white chalk dito sa face ng child. So, kapag naman titingnan nyo dun sa bottom part ng artwork, makikita natin na may parts na unfinished drawing without any rendering. So, masters who have perfected the use of this technique are Da Vinci. Kasi nga, nakapakita natin yung kanyang artwork na ginamitan niya ng chiaroscuro kanina. And then, Michelangelo, Rembrandt, and Caravaggio. And Rembrandt and Caravaggio went a step farther and exaggerated the use of shadows to an extreme called Tenebrism or dark manner. So, Tenebrism is used only to obtain a dramatic impact, while chiaroscuro is a broader term. The term is somewhat vague and tends to be avoided by modern art historians. So, ang pinagkaiba ng Tenebrism sa chiaroscuro, yung chiaroscuro ay parang broader term siya, malawak yung sakop. While kapag Tenebrism, dramatic impact lang yung ginagamitan. So, kaya sila gumawa nito, si Rembrandt and si Caravaggio, kaya sila gumawa nitong Tenebrism na art, they use this to convey and evoke emotion. So, in the local scene, Fernando Amorsolo also mastered chiaroscuro, but his focus was more on the manipulation of light rather than shadow. Kasi, di ba yung sinabi kanina sa chiaroscuro ay yun daw ay light and dark. Ay kaso, yung kay Fernando Amorsolo, na-master niya din yun, pero yung focus niya lang ay sa light at hindi shadow. So, bago po matapos tong video, gusto ko lang po iwanan itong quote na to na, "When your life feels black and white, make sure that you dream in color" by Robert Jans. Gusto ko lang na i-take natin to as inspirational quote. So, kung nafe-feel natin na may lungkot at stress tayo sa buhay, laban lang and fighting, kaya natin to, and make sure that we dream in color. Huwag nating hayaan yung mundo natin ay namumuhay tayo sa black and white. So, yun lamang po. Thank you for listening. Again, I'm Maybelline Garcia, BS Accountancy, Black 5. Thank you!